Justin's playing. Jermaine's out. Jarvis is out. Kane, we're still evaluating, and we'll have an answer on that as this week continues to progress. And the rest of the guys that we talked about earlier in the week, those guys did a really good job this week. The mindset has not changed from earlier in the week as far as going to Miami and trying to get a win. This week has been a really good week of prep, a really good week of practice. We want to end this week on a good note. I understand today is typically a red zone day for us, but one thing that we don't say around here is the hay is in the barn. We're always getting ourselves ready to go play a game all the way to the very end. So looking forward to finishing this week out on a good note and going to Miami, and again expecting to win from our guys. So any questions?
What does the return of Justin do for your offense?
No different than we've talked about, all during training camp and what he did in our first game. He's a dynamic runner. He's a smart player. I think in the passing game, it showed exactly what he can do, that first game. And we want to continue to expound on that and continue to get better. This week has been a week of for the most part, of improvement. And I think from the first game, how our guys came out, did a pretty good job. We got punched in the mouth in the second game. Third game, our guys responded very, very well and played hard, played fast, played physical, and had a chance to win the game. So this week, I'm expecting, more improvement. And that's more than anything what I'm looking for. And I know exactly how our guys will respond. And we're looking forward to going out there and playing.
Was he cleared yesterday or this morning?
From protocol, it was yesterday.
What changed from how good Justin looked week one to those hiccups that he had in week two?
Every week is different, and I think you have to understand, if you've been in this league for a long time, that I wish you can be at the top of your game every week, but that's just not realistic. And when things went the way it went in that game, it got to a point to where we really couldn't do the things that we wanted to do. And it took all of us out of our game, offense, defense, and special teams. So we want to try to make sure we stay away from those things and try to keep him on track, try to keep our offense on track to exactly what we do well. And hopefully we can do that this week.
How much does the team just need a win, to reaffirm kind of everything you guys have been doing all off season and all the work you put in?
How much do we need a win?
Need a win, or how desperate is this team for a win?
We don't go a week without thinking that we need a win. So I'm trying to really understand how to answer that question. I mean, I think it's every week we're trying to win, and every week is important to win. So I would look at every week as a needed part of winning.
Were you encouraged last week as far as the improvement in the red zone defensively and what you guys have been doing on third down as well?
Well, there's a number of things that I'm encouraged by when it comes to how we're doing on defense. And the one thing I think our guys do a really good job of is really understand exactly where we are and how we need to respond to certain situations. And as you look at it, went from 34-30 to 22 points given up. When you look at it, I think third down, we're in the top 10 in third down. We're in the top 15, I think, in red zone. So there's improvement that's going exactly how we need to go. We just got to continue to trend in that direction. And every week, that's what I look for. How are we trending? Now, if we're trending the other way, then that's a huge issue. Right? But our guys are trending in the right direction, which I am encouraged by.
How much of that trending in the right direction could be sped along by, I know you talked about last week that they got close to a lot of sacks, but couldn't quite get Baker down right now. How important is that as part of it?
Well, Baker's a pretty good player.
Yeah.
And, he's going to make his plays. I think he's shown that over the years he's been in this league. And we do have to have a finish mentality, and that's one thing that we've talked about all week is being able to finish. And that's in a number of different ways. We want to finish the run. We want to finish the catch. We want to finish the play. We want to finish on the ball. Most importantly, we want to finish the game. So there's a number of things we look at when it comes to finishing, and that is one of them. I mean, that's not just sacks. That's in every category when it comes to football.
The one thing that was I think it's cliche, but this is a copycat league. And usually when a team finds something, the next team does a little bit more, does a little bit more, does a little bit more. Have you guys spent an increased amount of time in practice this week with blitz pickups and things of that nature after what Todd and the Bucs were able to do a week ago?
You talking about 1 week?
I'm just kidding. Well, that was the first week we really saw it.
Yeah, you're talking about 1 week that, that those guys did a pretty good job. And Todd has done a really good job over his career of being able to do that. So, but you're right. Anytime that you look at a team and they pressure, like this team, they pressure quite a bit. From a fire zone perspective, we have to make sure we do a good job of picking those things up. But listen, this is a tough league against, some of these guys that do a really good job of understanding protection and attacking protection. We just got to make sure that we can counter those things.
How did Malachi do in his first extended action last week? And does he have a role now with Tony coming back? Or will he have a role still?
Well, he's always had a role. And we make sure we understand, the role that he has. It's not for me to tell you guys, but he always has a role. But I think he did a pretty good job. There's always room for improvement. He's a rookie, and he makes some rookie mistakes, but to be expected, from a rookie. But he's going to be a damn good player for us, and I'm looking for the way that he progresses as these weeks go by. But there won't be a week that we go in where he doesn't have a role.
There is, it's common that when there are some struggles from players that are known like veterans, that there's cries to get the rookies in, whether it's more, whether it's easy, get the guys in, get the guys in, get the guys in, get the guys in. Can you just speak a little bit to the acclimation period that rookies experience, and that you might want to see them because they're the unknown, but at the same time, like, you don't want to throw them out there too early.
Yeah, but we have a plan for all of our guys, and it's our job to make sure when those guys play, we don't listen because we know what's going on. And, man, we try to make sure when the time is right, those guys are being. It's just like when you have a rookie quarterback, how sometimes guys put him in as a starter immediately. Some guys wait, and let those guys see exactly what's going on in the game. And we do the same thing with each guy. And we know each guy from a personal, like, really in-depth on when it's time. And we focus on that more than anything than saying, okay, we just got to throw this guy out there. Some guys are ready to go, as a rookie, and they're ready to play right away. Some guys, that's not ready to do that just yet. And we try to make sure we do what's right when it comes to the player.
What's going to be key for your young linebackers this week, guys like Kiko and Cam, against an offense with the shifts in the motions?
Yeah, that's huge. That's a really good question because, man, it's a lot of eye candy that's going on with this team, and they have to be very disciplined when it comes to their eyes and how they utilize their eyes. And for the most part, Kiko's a really smart player. And, I think he's going to do a really good job, and the reason why we brought these other guys on because we saw something in them that they can help us, special teams and when it comes to defense. So make sure your eyes are in the right place. And for the most part, man, then go out there and play. Don't try to hold anything back. Go out there and play. When you make a mistake, we'll correct you, all right? But just keep going.
Couple more? Do you have any memories of McDaniel in Cleveland?
Yeah, I do. Really good receiver coach at that point. I think he's a very, very bright individual when it comes to offensive football. Obviously, we know what he's done in the run game when he came from San Francisco. And he was a huge part of helping Cal, when we was in Cleveland as far as how the offense is going. And I don't see that changing when it comes to how these guys, run their offense. They create some issues. And obviously they create issues with the personnel that they have, but the scheme creates issues also. And a lot of that has to do with him. So we have to be on top of our game, which we will be. And, again, we expect to go out there and do well.
You asked that? Oh, you asked that? Oh, feel good.
To know you're going to be back this week, I guess when you got the news, what was your reaction and how happy you were back playing?
I had an idea, but of course with this concussion stuff, which it was my first, there's some days you feel good and some days the symptoms come right back. So, but right now I feel good, and hopefully I continue to feel this way when Monday comes.
Does that change your mindset at all, how you play, getting a concussion? Does that alter anything that you want to do on the field?
Not really. I've always kind of had the mindset when I run is, get down, protect myself. So I don't think when you're playing ball, you can't, think a different way. You just got to go out there and play ball.
When did you feel like you knew you were going to be good to go this week?
Like I said, I felt good a couple of days over the weekend, and then Sunday or Monday, it kind of got bad, like to the early symptoms again. So it was up and down. But like I said, it was just more of a day-by-day thing.
What did it feel like just being out there and you had basically a full week of practice, correct?
Yeah.
Everything feel on the field.
Felt good being out there with the guys, and I don't like sitting out too much, so felt good being back out
You
there.
had that early big day in the opener. Things did not go as well for you or all team for the second week. What was wrong in that game?
We didn't play our brand of football. We didn't execute well enough. I turned the ball over early. We didn't start fast, and that's pretty much the moral of the story. So.
Was there anything that Buffalo did that was different from what maybe you saw in the opener? Because week 1 was also Tanner's first time calling plays, so week 2 they kind of had a little bit of film to try some different things against what you guys want to do on defense.
What was the question?
Did they do anything different, Buffalo, that maybe like something unique you guys weren't expecting?
Not really. I think they called, they dialed up pretty good plays when we were, trying to call plays, like on the around. They just happened to call cat blitz right there, and sometimes that's football. But like I said, we just didn't play our brand of football that day. It wasn't our day.
What were some of the symptoms that you had? Like you said, you kind of.
Yeah, migraines throughout the day, sensitivity to light. That was a big one. What other ones? I couldn't really focus. Like if I tried to concentrate on the paper, I couldn't really focus. My head would hurt a little bit. So just small stuff like that was kind of weird to me. But yeah.
Is that more like every injury, but it's more frustrating because like if it's like a muscle or something but this is dealing with your head.
Yeah, it is. So you just got to be smart with it. You can play through soft tissue injuries and stuff like that, but I'm going to need my brain the rest of my life. So most important thing is just me being smart and not putting myself at risk for a long term.
We've seen a number of players wear the Guardian caps. More people wearing the Guardian caps in games. Was that a consideration for you at all coming back to this?
No. I switched helmets, but not a Guardian cap.
Have you had something like this before?
No, it's my first concussion.
Was that like scary?
It wasn't scary. It was just different. Like I said, it was my first one. I didn't expect some of the symptoms. I didn't expect them to be as bad as they were. But like I said, I'm glad I'm happy now, and I'm glad I'm well now, and ready to go.
You're not going to change anything about the way you play.
No.
Were you able to watch? Did you watch the game last week?
Oh yeah, I watched the game.
What was that like?
Of course, it was terrible not being there, but after Will blocked that field goal, boy, just know I was going crazy in the crib. Just know that. But close game. I thought the guys fought hard to the end, and I was proud overall just how we battled back. So
You watched the game from home.
yeah.
Obviously you got 2 0-3 teams, both of whom are desperate for win. What do you expect from the Dolphins just in terms of the intensity of this game? What it means for both teams?
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, we both have yet to get a win this season, so it's a big game for both of us. Monday night, not much of a bigger stage either. So I know we're going in there to win by any means, and they're probably doing the same thing. So like I said, we're excited, we're prepared, and I'm ready to go.
Did you talk to anyone, whether it was on this team or maybe someone outside of this locker room, about going through a concussion, what that's like?
Yeah, some guys on the team, who have had experience with me, they gave me some pointers, just different supplements I can take, different things I can do to kind of speed up the healing process and stuff like that. So.
What was the most helpful one?
There wasn't just one most helpful one, but Tyrod, he's had one in the past. Rux had a couple in the past. So just different advice from those guys who have had it in the
What
past.
was the best advice you got?
There wasn't like one specific best advice. Is what I'm saying.
You guys spent the whole year together last year. You and Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're dealing with your own team, but he lost. They're going with Jackson Dart. I was curious if you guys had any communication. Did you reach out with him or anything like that?
Nah, not really. Like you said, we have our own stuff going on. So, yeah.